Well, welcome to the Yes Lady with CharlaA, your encouragement solutions for outrageous business. I'm so excited that you're here with me today, and we're going to be talking about one of the weirdest subjects that's come along in a long time, and that is cryptocurrency, what it is and what it isn't. And I have mShane Kuhn today as an expert, at least in my mind, on cryptocurrency, and I'm really excited to have you back here with me.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It's time to say yes to your future. Each week, CharlaA interviews business owners that are breaking the mold. Tune in each Thursday to discover how you can too. Here's your host, the Yes Lady herself, CharlaA.
I'm going to read your bio again.
Okay.
Because it's who I know that you were on my show recently, and I want you to actually, I want people to know who you are like I do, and I think that this kind of describes you in a good way.
Okay.
And it's who I know you to be. So mShane Kuhn is a trusted visionary recognized worldwide for both discerning the future with penetrating insight, remarkable clarity, and amazing accuracy, while also applying his expertise, skills, and experience, intelligence, and energy to benefit others as an entrepreneur, thought leader, and philanthropist. That's right. That's who I know you to be. And you're brilliant. I mean, you have credentials that are really brilliant too. So I'm not going to go into that right now, but I'd like for you to just briefly introduce yourself again, and how can we learn about the disruption of the financial world, cryptocurrency.
Well, small town American kid, grew up, my mom kicking me out every morning saying, don't be back till dark, go get Kool-Aid at somebody's house at 3:30, because that kind of thing. And so just grew up in this American dream, and as I got older and kind of found my way, really began to sense profoundly what it means to be an American, and to be able to look for opportunity, and to be able to understand freedom, and to be able to embrace being innovative and making a difference in the world. We have so much privilege, time, and freedom, and all the things that we have as Americans, and it's important to me that we do good things with that and have good fruit from that.
Exactly. So we met at a digital currency conference, I guess it was, and I've just kind of dabbled in it, or not really embraced it too well. I really did kind of embrace it, because I thought, wow, this is a disruption, and I believe it's where we're headed.
Yeah.
I believe it's
definitely where we're headed.
And so it's been about 3 or 4 years where I kind of got involved, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But you have a knack for talking about where did it come from? The history of digital currency or cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story when I do conferences around the country or speak at events for people. Still well over 90% of the population has never heard the word cryptocurrency. They don't know what it means. Cyber currency, digital currency, virtual currency, they're not sure or even have heard of those terms. Cryptocurrency stands for encrypted. That's where it comes from, the cryptography community. Back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there were a group of people who were involved in the art of cryptography. That's encrypting things like messages that our military uses. And they were trying to figure out a way to make money that was not tangible. And when the internet came to the public's attention in 1995, and there began to be Netscape and email and all those things, AOL and that kind of stuff, they started trying to figure out how to make a digital version of money. And they ended up creating basically a digital version of gold. And so one of the fascinating things about cryptocurrency is that the governments around the world have a really hard time dealing with it, because they don't know how to tax it, they don't know how to control it. It's decentralized, so it's hard to control. And the reason it's hard to tax is cryptocurrency has traits of commodities like corn or gas or gold. It has traits of assets like stock or real estate, and it has it has traits of currency. So it's hard to determine what it is, and it really is a new thing. So when people ask me about cryptocurrency, one of the first things I tell them is, well, cryptocurrency is not the latest evolution of money. It's not, going from bartering to sticks that you carve notches on, to coins and paper, to checks, to debit cards, to Apple Pay and PayPal. It's not that. Those are all evolutions of money in the old system, the monetary financial system. Cryptocurrency is a completely different animal. It's a different thing. So sometimes in this digital age, people kind of confuse, well, why would we have cryptocurrency when we already have PayPal or other digital means of transferring value back and forth? But cryptocurrency is a whole different thing.
I really got excited about it when I watched a 60-minute segment a couple of years ago called the
Probably about M-Pesa.
M-Pesa.
Yeah, in
It
Kenya.
was M-Pesa in Kenya,
Yeah.
and how it's completely revolutionized their financial system. And the 60 minutes.
Yeah.
A lady was able to buy a taxi ride and
and
one lady bought cows and had bought 3 cows, and there is people helping people without the middleman.
Yeah.
And there's no banks in Kenya. There wasn't like the way they got their money to their relatives in another part of this country was to put it in a burlap bag and put it on a bus, and hopefully
hope it got there, right?
Not likely
Not
that
likely.
it did very often.
Not very often, no. Yeah, it's interesting. 60 Minutes is a CBS show. Mm-hmm. The first exposure I ever had really to cryptocurrency was in 2010, I think it was. They had a show called The Good Wife, which was about this lady who was married to the DA, and he's a lawyer and she's a lady, and so they go through this divorce and all this stuff. But anyway, one of the subplots that ran through the entire season on their 2010 season was about Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency. And so, Bitcoin was posted as a white paper in late 2008, November 2008. Nobody knew about it then, and I mean, very few people. And very few people knew about it through 2009. But it was really interesting to me as a viewer to watch The Good Wife and see this new thing. And I was like, what is that? So I started researching it. And that's when I really got involved in cryptocurrency, was learning about it from the interest that show generated in me. And so Kenya and M-Pesa was really born out of, like you said, somebody would make some money in the city and want to send it back to their family, and they'd go up to the bus driver and say, hey, can you take this $500 down the road and give it to my mom when you see her at the crossroads? And of course that didn't work. And so Kenya really developed on their flip phones, their old, not smartphones, on their old flip phones, a way for everybody in Kenya to be able to send money back and forth with no fees, instantly, with a great degree of safety. And so what's interesting about cryptocurrency now is I tell people cryptocurrency is safer, faster, cheaper, and easier than anything else you've ever used. And so it's only a matter of time before Walmart and Kohl's and Target and all the major retailers say, why am I going to pay more for old stuff? Why am I going to use riskier stuff, checks that could bounce? Why am I going to wait longer to get my money? I mean, they're just not going to do that. These major corporations are going to come around at some point and force us into using cryptocurrency because it's safer, faster, cheaper, and easier for them and for you. And once people try it and they know how it works, and they can take their phone and in a matter of 20 seconds have transferred $80 for their grocery bill or $200 to their kid or whatever, and know that it's instant, it's simple, it's fast, it's cheap, it's secure, they're going to love it.
The security part is where I want to go next, because, and people say, well, it's not backed by gold, or it's not backed by, what's
Neither
it backed
is the
by?
US dollar.
The US dollar is not either.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I was having last year, I guess maybe 2 years ago, I don't remember, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine who's a banker. He's a very accomplished banker and won awards in that industry. And we sat down to have lunch, and we were at Rosa's, where I'm from, Taco Tuesday, And so we were sitting down to have lunch, and he had just gotten his tortilla and had lathered it up with beans, right? And so he said, I just have one question for you before we start. And I said, okay. And he said, what's it backed by? And so I'm on the other side of the table, and I'm watching him lather his tortilla with beans, and I just sat there for about 10 seconds and I said, well, let me ask you a question. What's the US dollar backed by? And he stopped mid-lather. He stopped and he threw his knife on the table and went, nothing. That's why all of us bankers are afraid the dollar's going to collapse at any moment.
He answered his own question.
Yeah, and it was so interesting to see a banker be concerned about this new thing and what it's backed by, but he knows that what we're using now, a fiat currency, is not backed by anything other. And Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1971, and so since then, there's never been, not one time in human history, has there been a fiat currency, meaning a currency that's issued by a sovereign nation but not backed by a commodity. Never has it lasted more than 200 years. So we're on a clock now, and there's basically no asset commodity-backed currencies left in the world. So for a lot of people, especially people in a world like Kenya, where they don't have a bank branch in every town, they don't have security, they don't have the rule of law, they don't have regulatory agencies that watch, there are a lot of people around the world that cryptocurrency is a solution for them because it's safe.
And how is it safe? And because that is the big question, how
Yeah.
does it safe? And I believe can we talk about that after the break?
I'd love to.
The Yes Lady with CharlaA will be right back learning about security and why is this thing called blockchain secure? What does that mean? We'll be right back.
The American business economy is positioned as it has never been before. Professional videography is a core element for attracting a higher level of engagement with the people group you need for significant impact. Now is your time to shine. My name is Bill Brock, owner of White Rock Films, and I invite you to a powerful opportunity in the marketplace, an opportunity to draw excited people to your events, an opportunity to showcase your ideas on infrastructure, an opportunity to become known as the industry authority and enjoy the associated benefits of a strong, influential brand. Video highlights, video teaches. Video puts a resistant market at ease, and video stirs the hearts and imaginations of your allies and strategic client base. White Rock Films offers full audio, video production for businesses ready to embrace the future, handling your project with professionalism, experience, and polish unheard of in the industry. My name is Bill Brock, and White Rock Films wants your business. See us online at whiterockfilms.com.
Experience the Zeal difference.
It's my favorite beverage.
I never thought nutrition could taste so good.
I know it's why I feel the best I've ever felt.
Wouldn't start my day without this beverage.
Every once in a while, a product comes along that's so innovative, it has the ability to shake up how we feel about nutrition. You're about to be introduced to a one-of-a-kind nutritional powerhouse. It's scientifically formulated and backed by a landmark clinical trial. This wellness product has created a movement that has already generated over $300 million in sales. It continues to change lives, create a thirst in people to be healthier, and is inspiring generations in ways other beverages simply do not. It's called Zeal, and thousands of people worldwide, just like you, appreciate that it takes the guesswork out of nutrition and why it's loved by so many. If you don't experience the Zeal difference in 30 days, we'll refund your money. Join us in this movement and experience the Zeal difference.
We're back here with the Yes Lady with CharlaA, your encouragement solutions for outrageous business. And I'm here with mShane Kuhn, and we're going to go. I really want to understand how cryptocurrency is safe, and it's because of blockchain technology.
Right. Well, I mentioned earlier that in the history, that cryptography community, the people who do the art of cryptography, where you send messages that cannot be decrypted, so that's what our military uses. Sometimes you'll hear the phrase military-grade encryption. And so that's the community that cryptocurrency was born out of. And so cryptocurrency is safe because they developed what's called a distributed ledger, but really it's referred to shorthand as the blockchain. And that is revolutionizing the world. We'll look back 10 years, 20 years from now, and we'll all think cryptocurrency was a huge deal, and it will be. It'll change the world as we know it. But we will look back in 10 years and we will say that blockchain is on that short list. Fire, the wheel, the atomic bomb. printing press, internet, blockchain. I mean, it's one of those world-changing, every 3 millennia kind of things that happens. It is the ability to share information widely between people and have consensus be the basis for trust between parties, not some fear-based reason to trust. So when Reagan said trust but verify, it's almost like cryptocurrency uses that as its mantra. Blockchain allows people to trust in the accuracy of the information because of the consensus of millions of people. I'll give you a quick example. I'm a trained Bible scholar, and when we read manuscripts in biblical world, we may have 30 manuscripts that say, and Yeshua will show you the way. And then we have one manuscript that says, and Yeshua will shew you, S-H-O-E, the way. And obviously we look at that and we go, will show you the way makes sense, and it's spelled correctly and it's used properly contextually. This one seems to not make any sense, and it's just one letter different, show, shew, but we would quarantine that and say there's something unreliable about that. And that's basically the premise of blockchain distributed ledger technology, is if it sees anything that's not matching up with the consensus being reached by all the people participating in the network, it will quarantine that off and say that's not reliable. So it's a huge advancement. I cannot tell you how big a deal that will be. You will walk into a courthouse in the next 10 years, and they will have on blockchain every medical record, every marriage deed, every land deed, everything on something that big that we used to have an entire courthouse to keep documents.
It's hard to fathom that, and the way I saw it or visualized it at one time was like it goes to, you enter something and it goes to thousands of computers at the exact same time to verify and
all the people participating in the network.
And the computers are just there to validate and verify that it's correct and they renew every few minutes or a few seconds sometimes. So
depends on the blockchain, but
it's pretty brilliant, but it's pretty hard to explain.
Yeah, it's a deep subject, and there are people who spend their entire lives looking at blockchain. But the simple way to think of it is if you had a set of books for a business, and instead of one set of books, you had 1 million copies of that constantly being sent out to the customers, who could audit the books. It's a hard concept to explain, but it's very simple at the base level.
So that helps, just to know that one set of books is sent out everywhere. So if somebody tries to fraud you, make it change, that one gets set aside until it can be verified or validated again.
And it won't be able to be verified if there's something wrong with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so I know that you say legal contracts, real estate contracts. I mean, there's a lot of industries that are going to be totally disrupted with this blockchain technology.
Yeah, I just was reading an article 2 days ago about some major company. I can't remember who it was, but they're switching all of their inventory management over to blockchain technology. I mean, that's what's coming. We have countries in this world like India and China that have 1 billion people in them, and we have companies that, whether it's an auto parts store that has all these little pieces of things that go in cars to make them work or whatever, hotels that have these thousands of rooms around the country. Anything that has to do with inventory management right now is being taken over by blockchain technology because it's such a great way to do that. And it's an unalterable record. And so it reduces fraud. And that's why you're going to see people like major retailers moving toward that. As far as the safer, faster, cheaper, easier, as far as the safer part goes, if you can imagine one of our major retail outlets in the United States being able to essentially close their fraud department, just think about the hundreds of millions of dollars that we're talking about them saving. They are not going to be allowing people to write checks or use debit cards in 5 years. It just won't happen.
It's mind-blowing and it's exciting.
crazy,
It's
yeah.
really exciting because we are,
Yeah.
such a time as this. Things are shifting and
Such a
we're,
great time.
Yeah, we're changing the world.
It's like you step out of your house and you trip over all the opportunity laying on the ground. I mean, it's just everywhere.
That's great. So intriguing, and my saying, when intriguing opportunities present themselves and you say yes, things show up.
That's right.
So the last little bit here before we close. How do people get involved in cryptocurrency? It's a little scary. And so I can
It's very
education,
scary.
and there's a lot of education that they need to probably get a little bit of insight in.
Yeah,
and
I tell
or
people,
learning,
Right. I always tell people you should treat cryptocurrency like you treat anything. If you wanted to find a good doctor in your town, if you wanted to find out which baseball league was the best for your kid to play in, what do? Well, you ask people who you're around, you listen to their counsel, you take multiple perspectives, you research, you do what you can to research. And it's the same way with cryptocurrency. So for your viewers, for people in this area who are business owners, you're one of the touchstones for that. So I would tell them, go to Charla's website and get in contact with you, because that's important that you have somebody that you trust that can vet that for you. And then you can help them get the information that you have access to, and they can make their own decision or get in touch with somebody like me or do further research or whatever.
It is there's over 2,000 cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, and growing.
So they're not all created equal.
No, and some
so
have been-
Bitcoin is good, but it's
Yeah.
very expensive. So there's Ethereum, there's Litecoin, there's several
Yeah.
that I personally am involved with that
Right.
feel comfortable and confident
Yeah.
that they are going to change my life ultimately. Because
And we're still in the baby steps of the government getting in and regulating and all that stuff. So it's an ever-changing landscape. And so more important than ever that they have somebody to contact, get in touch with, and let that be a beginning of a dialogue and a conversation. It's not something you want to make a quick decision about.
And our business owners, you're going to be wanting to accept cryptocurrency.
Yes,
You've got
absolutely.
to you don't want to be left behind in this. The
Yes.
people like IBM that says, "Oh, there won't ever be any. Nobody's going to want a home computer."
Right. Right. Yeah, if you're a business owner and you're not currently accepting cryptocurrency right now, you're already behind.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
you need to be accepting cryptocurrency now. And if you understood it, you would know that that's one of the best decisions you could make, not just from a point of appealing to your consumers and aiding them, but it could really impact your bottom line in very profitable ways. And I'll be happy to visit with people if you want to send them to me to
I
tell
would,
them how that would work.
absolutely. And I feel like our world, like you said before, it feels like our world is working in warp speed. Things
Yeah.
are so fast, we don't have time to
That's right.
to take a deep breath.
And that's why those relationships of trust are so important to be able to vet things. Yeah.
mShane, I am so excited that you came. And
Thank
is
you.
there anything left that you want to say about this right before we close?
I love CharlaA.
The Yes Lady with CharlaA, your encouragement solutions for outrageous business. This is Charla Anderson, the Yes Lady with your split-second transformation, powered by Zeal. We're talking about win-win-win. How often do you enter a conversation with a win-lose mentality? Wouldn't it be awesome if in our world today, we entered every conversation, every disagreement, every transaction with win-win-win? How can we not have any losers? Wouldn't that be amazing? One of the things that we can do to do that is to step into, it's not all about me. It's how can I, some empathy for the other person, and knowing that they were a human being created just like you were, coming from where they come from and their perspective, and having a little grace for them, and coming and finding that if there are no losers, we all win. The tide rises. We may not be able to change the world, but we can change our world. And we do that by starting with gratitude and starting with treating people with respect and bringing them into your life without finding the losers, without having losers. I understand that Jerry Springer mentality is pathetic, where I'm right, you're wrong, we're going to fight, I'm going to throw a chair over your head, and I'm going to sue you. That's wrong. That's wrong in our world. It's just wrong for people. Let's start looking for the win-win in every situation. I'm Charla Anderson with your split-second transformation powered by Zeal. And Zeal is my nutritional energy beverage of choice. I love, love, love it. I drink it every day. And it's got all those wonderful little nutrients in there and herbs and minerals, 14,000 superfoods. It's just food. Amazing, good stuff. You're going to love it, and I'm going to love you having it. Charla.zealforlife.com. That's charla.zealforlife.com. Join me.
That's all for the Yes Lady with CharlaA today. The Yes Lady with CharlaA is produced by the OBBM Network and available on demand at offbeatbusinessmedia.com. The Yes Lady also airs each Thursday at 12 and 8 p.m. on OBBM Radio, available on iTunes and offbeatbusinessmedia.com. Download the Offbeat Business app to get the Yes Lady TV and podcast on demand. To be a guest on the Yes Lady, call 817-808-7703.